Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we have an interesting story out of the state of New York where the grandson of former President John F. Kennedy, Jack Schlossberg, is taking the steps to run for Congress in 2026. Now, in an article from Axios, it goes over the news that Schlossberg, a writer and grandson of President John F. Kennedy, said he is forming an exploratory committee to run for Congress in New York. Schlossberg is a high-profile figure in the Democratic Party who would likely bring additional attention to what is already expected to be a hotly contested race in the media capital of the U.S. The seat, which is currently the New York's 12th congressional district, is held by Representative Jerry Nadler, who said he would not be running for an 18th term a few weeks ago. In addition to Schlossberg, nonprofit CEO Liam Elkland and a state assemblyman Micah Lasher are also running for the seat. Several other Democrats, including former Representative Carolyn Maloney, State Assemblyman Alex Borres, and Tony Simone, City Councilman Eric Botcher, and actress and former gubernatorial candidate Cynthia Nixon are also seen as potential candidates. Schlossberg said in a recent post on X, "Hey guys, have formed an exploratory committee." The 32-year-old graduate of Yale and Harvard has worked as a political commentator and spoke at the Democratic National Convention in 2020 and 2024. He has been outspoken on social media and is something of a prolific poster on X, according to the article. Schlossberg also very recently made headlines for publicly clashing with his cousin, Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., over the latter's skepticism towards vaccines. Lasher is reportedly set to enter the race with support from Nadler, who's retiring amid grassroots pressure on older Democratic lawmakers to make room for a new generation of leaders. That support could be significant in a crowded Democratic primary field, and Nadler is seen as a still potent power broker in the district. Eklund has made headlines as a 26-year-old congressional candidate who dared to take on Nadler. And this is from Axios, and the article was written by Andrew Solander. So make sure to go check that out and give all the credit and such to him. So this is very interesting. First things first, this 12th district in New York is based entirely in the borough of Manhattan, and it's composed of the Upper West Side, Upper East Side, Midtown, Hell's Kitchen, Chelsea, Murray Hill, and Gramercy. The incumbent is Democrat Jerry Nadler, who was reelected with 80.6% of the vote in 2024. We'll be getting into the election results of this district in just a little bit. But first, as the article mentioned, the only Democrat declared right now is Liam Elkland, a nonprofit CEO. Micah Lasher, the state assemblyman from the 69th district, also is filing paperwork to run. Schlossberg running as the grandson of President John F. Kennedy Jr. certainly is going to bring a lot of money and name notoriety to this race. And I'm not too familiar with Elkland and Micah Lasher, and obviously without any polling data to go off of, it's hard to make a definitive statement on this race for sure, but I would imagine being the grandson of President John F. Kennedy would probably give Schlossberg, at very least, a strong start out for this campaign and potentially an early advantage in this race. Though, as the article correctly mentioned, with 3 potential candidates being in the race by the end of the month, and several other Democrats expressing interest, this could become a very competitive Democratic primary really quickly, and that could split the vote, so much so that even if Schlossberg starts out in first place, it may only be like by 1% or 2%, because that's how competitive it would be. Though, again, being the grandson of JFK, I think would give him at least a little bit of an advantage, especially in the fundraising department. So these are all the other Democrats interested in running, as the article mentioned: Alex Borres, Eric Botcher, Shabbos Kestenbaum, Carolyn Maloney, the former U.S. representative, Keith Powers, Tony Simone, and Whitney Tilson, with a lot of other Democratic candidates mentioned as potential candidates as well. We do know some Democrats that names have been floated as potential candidates are not running in this race, including Chelsea Clinton, who there was a rumor last week that she may be considering a run for this district. She's officially ruled it out, and the article and so even mentions as Schlossberg decided to run for this race. You also see other candidates in here, like some candidates for mayor of New York City in 2025 being mentioned that have ruled out running as well. As for the general election, it doesn't even mention which Republican candidates will run, as this race is listed as solved for the Democrats from Cook Political Report and Inside Elections back in February and March. And it's not really too much of a surprise. You can look here. We can zoom into the Manhattan area in New York. This district, the 12th district, is going to be right here. Jerry Nadler won it by 61 points in 2024. In 2022, again, a more Republican wave year, especially in the state of New York, this 12th district voted for Nadler by 63.8%. So pretty reliable for the Democrats, 2 elections in a row, 2024 and 2022. Now the map was redrawn a little bit differently in 2020, but the 12th district, Maloney, that represented it, won by 65.8. Nadler representing New York 10, and the districts kind of merged in the redistricting on that one. So that's what it looked like on that standpoint. In terms of the Cook PVI here, I'm going to try and zoom in, get you the correct rating here. This district, New York 12, is listed at Democrat plus 33. So of the ratings of 15 points or plus is safe for the Democrats. At Democrat plus 33, this is one of the most safe districts in all of the United States for the Democratic Party, and really not too much of a surprise why there's no talk about any major Republicans running in this race. Just to give you a look at the district itself on a map right here, again, Jerry Nadler right here got 81% to Michael K. Zumbluskas, 19% of the vote, and you can just see this is the region of Manhattan and New York where this is. Nadler in 2024 got 260,165 votes. Michael K. Zumbluskas got 62,989 of the total 323,154 votes. Obviously, Manhattan, a lot of people living in Manhattan, a lot of votes concentrated in a pretty small area, but that's what the numbers looked like in 2024. Lastly, in 2022, the same district, of the 245,694 votes, the same candidates, Jerry Nadler and Michael Zumbluskas, faced off. Nadler got 81.8% of the vote. Zumbluskas got 18%. 200,890 votes to 44,173. So obviously 2 elections in a row, very safe Democratic district. Obviously for 2026, my prediction for this race is going to be a safe Democratic win. The most competitive nature of this race is going to be what happens in the Democratic primary. Whether it's Schlossberg or any other Democrats running in this race, it's probably too early to say right now which Democrat is going to win the primary. I do think, at very least, being the grandson of JFK, it does give him a little bit of an advantage, but the Democratic primary is going to be the real contention point of this race. The general election should be a slam dunk for the Democrats to win. Just to give you an idea of where things currently stand on the House map, obviously redistricting and everything is still up in the air with Texas and now potentially Ohio, Missouri, California, Florida, still very much to be determined. The latest 2026 consensus map on 270win.com, Republicans have 212 seats, Democrats 202, with about 21 up for grabs at this current point in time. Though again, expected to see House maps change over the next few months or so. When that happens, I'll be doing videos, of course, updating that news and the map as we go from there. But right now, Republicans hold about a 10-seat advantage with 21 seats up for grabs. So still very much to be determined whether Republicans or Democrats will hold the House in 2026. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. Make sure to also leave a comment below telling me your thoughts, and I hope to see you in a future video.